Even with the two upsets over this past weekend, my tips weren't very good anyway. Howdy everyone, it's Sam. Welcome to the Wobble Enjoy Sports channel. If you're new around here, hope I can get you to consider to like the content and subscribe to the channel. But if you are a regular around these here parts, thank you very much for the continuous support. Let's get stuck straight into NFL Week 7. Week 7 of the 2023 NFL season starts on Friday morning here in Australia, Thursday night football over in the United States. For the 8th time in history, New Orleans Saints versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. And on Sportsbet, Jacksonville are $2.25 outsiders. The New Orleans Saints are $1.65. This is the first match between the two since 2019, but New Orleans Saints have a 5-2 record over the team from Florida. Jacksonville have not defeated the Saints since the year 2003. Jacksonville have never won in New Orleans. This screams of a danger game for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Surely they've got to win this game against the Saints. They got the dub against the Colts. They've been on a 3-game win streak or 4-game win streak, whereas the New Orleans Saints went to Houston last weekend and came up short, unfortunately. I'm going to tip Jacksonville. The value at $2.25 on them against the Saints, way too good to pass up. Jacksonville 1-13. Now we move into the Monday morning games here in Australia, or the Sunday day games in the United States. To kick things off, we've got the Falcons taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa Bay, Florida. This will be the 60th meeting between the two franchises, and it is the Buccaneers who are one win better at 30-29 in the overall head-to-head record. On Sportsbet, the Falcons are $2.25. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are $1.65. The Falcons and the Bucs are both coming off of losses last weekend. More notably, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who just could not get a real good rhythm against the very much in form Detroit Lions in front of their home fans as well. Atlanta, they got their first win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year for the first time since 2019, but they have not won in Tampa Bay since 2018. I feel like the Bucs are a bit of a slept-on bet here. I'm going to tip Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but not with a whole lot of confidence. I think Atlanta have a massive chance of an upset, and I mean, why not? Like, fair dinkum, it's pretty hard to freaking keep up with the NFL these days, eh? For the 128th time, Buffalo Bills versus the New England Patriots. On Sportsbet, the Patriots are $4.10. The Bills are $1.24, and it's New England who have the overall head-to-head at 77-49, with one draw thrown in there as well. But Buffalo have won 4 in a row against the New England Patriots. They've also won 6 of the past 7 encounters since the year 2020. The Bills nearly got done in by the New York Giants last weekend, and it has a lot to do with the injuries that is on their defense. Last weekend, I tipped the Patriots to go to Las Vegas and get the win. They did not do that, but they had a better account of themselves, albeit Las Vegas are still not a very good team, man. Patriots versus Bills, a rivalry game. The Bills nearly fell to the hoodoo against the New York Giants. The Giants haven't lost in Buffalo since the year 1993 off the top of the dome. The Patriots overall have the overall head-to-head record. Can the New England side cause an upset in a rivalry game? I'm going to err on the side of caution and say no, even though this is taking place at Gillette Stadium. I'm tipping the Bills. I'm weary though. I'm not going to say 14 plus. I'll say 1-13. The Giants and the Commanders do battle for the 183rd time in history. The Giants are at 106 wins to 71 losses and 5 draws thrown in there as well. And on Sportsbet, we've got the Commanders at $1.77, whereas the New York Giants are $2.06 outsiders. And this game is taking place at MetLife Stadium. The Commanders, I didn't tip you, but I had a good feeling, but I went, nah. The Commanders got the dub against the Falcons last weekend, whereas the Giants nearly pipped the aforementioned Buffalo Bills in the previous game before 14 points to 9. Came down right to the final play of the game, and that was without their regular quarterback as well, the New York Giants. Um, uh, I'm going to tip the Commanders, and not with a whole lot of confidence because Washington Commanders are still like that. They're very hard to wrangle in. I feel like I'm not too bad with Commanders except for last week, but I'm gonna go the Commanders to keep their positive season going. Commanders 1-13. From Soldier Field for just the 17th time in history, Chicago Bears versus the Las Vegas Raiders, or just the Bears versus the Raiders. The overall head-to-head record is even between these two franchises at 8 wins apiece. On Sportsbet, the Bears are 237, the Raiders are $1.59. This is the first meeting between the two franchises since 2021, and the Bears won on that occasion in Las Vegas. This is the first trip to Chicago for a Raiders outfit since 2015, but they have not won. A Raiders side has not won since the year 1993. Quarterback for the Bears, Justin Fields, is injured. He could play this weekend. Highly unlikely that he will. The Raiders, for 2 years in a row now, they've been a poor side that I don't want to get behind, but they go on these little runs and they start giving you faint glimpses of hope of what they should be doing and what they do in some games, but they haven't won since 1993 in Chicago. And last weekend, I rattled off a stat between the 49ers and the Browns, and I went, nah, the 49ers are going to break it. So I'm really hesitant to say anything like that, but I'm going to say the Las Vegas Raiders get their first win in Chicago since 1993, and heaven help them if they lose this freaking game, man. An intriguing matchup awaits at Lucas Oil Stadium where we see Indianapolis host the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are $1.79, the Colts are $2.03. This will be the 35th match between the two, and the ledger is even. It is 17 wins apiece. This will be the first meeting between the two since 2020, and that was in Cleveland, and Cleveland won on that occasion. They last defeated Indianapolis Colts in Indianapolis in the year 2011, and 11 of the past straight matches between these two sides have been decided by 9 points or less, and that's going deep into the early 2000s. So the past 11 straight games between these two have been decided by 9 points or less, and somehow I feel like that it's going to be similar. I feel like it's going to be close-ish, but that Browns defense, I've been saying that it's been elite all friggin' year, came to the front last weekend against the San Francisco 49ers. Browns giving the 49ers their first loss of the year. Absolutely unreal stuff. Colts, they're going to do things without their regular starting quarterback in Bryce. I think that's his first or last name. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, this is it's weird to say, but it is almost a must-win game for Cleveland because you've got to capitalize on this momentum. You really can't defeat the 49ers and the week after go to Indianapolis and defeat a Colts side who are not at full strength and they really aren't better than the Cleveland Browns on paper. But they've been going in and out of games over the year. The Browns they've copped upset losses to the Baltimore Ravens, or just weird losses as well, where they just don't score any points. So yeah, this Browns side, for me, it's almost a must-win game just to keep the momentum going for them, because that's a huge win. That's a huge moment for the Cleveland Browns. So I'm going to say the Browns do this one 1-13. Week 7 is a weekend full of blockbusters, and this is one of them. The Detroit Lions travel to the Baltimore Ravens home ground, and on Sportsbet, the Ravens are $1.64 favorites, whereas the Lions are $2 27. This will just be the seventh time these two franchises have met, and the Detroit Lions have only won once against the Baltimore Ravens, and that was in the year 2005. So they have never won in Baltimore as well, because that victory came in Detroit, and this is their first meeting since the year 2021. So history is up against the Lions. I do think it is a danger game. I know that the Ravens, they are getting better, that they are getting a little bit more healthier, but this Lions outfit, man, they stand equal top of all of NFL, really, with only the one loss to their name, like the San Francisco 49ers and Philadelphia. I I can see the danger of Baltimore winning this game, like, well and truly. Like, this is, oh man, this is going to be a good game, bro. But I do think the Detroit Lions, they just got so much swagger about them. They got so much confidence. They got a lot of momentum. I am going to tip Detroit. I'm going to say 1-13, and let alone that Detroit at $2.27 as well. I thought maybe it might be a little bit closer than that, sort of like $1.80 to $2, but a 2.27 for the Lions against the Ravens, who are beatable by the Lions caliber this year. I'm going to go the Lions to win this one, 1-13. We're off to SoFi Stadium for the next contest, and we've got the Los Angeles Rams versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. On Sportsbet, the Rams are $1.61, the Steelers are $2.33. This will just be the 28th meeting between the Steelers and the Rams, and it is Los Angeles Rams who have the overall head-to-head record at 15-10, with 2 draws thrown in there as well. This is the first match between these two franchises since 2019, but the Rams have not defeated the Steelers since the year 2003. It's 20 years since a Rams side has defeated a Steelers outfit. Furthermore, a Rams outfit have not defeated a Steelers team in front of their home fans, whether it be in St. Louis or LA, since the year 1993. So 30 years since the Rams have defended their home ground with a dub against the Steelers. That's a bit of a hoodoo, isn't it? And this is the first ever meeting between the two franchises at SoFi Stadium. Again, the Rams, they're one of the surprise packets of 2023, but with weapons still like Aaron Donald on defense and Cooper Kupp coming back into the fold, these guys might be in for a wild card spot come playoff time. It's a massive shout, but they are going really solidly at the moment. Steelers, on the other hand, they still got that voodoo doll out where they can just win with some magic, can't they? But I'm not confident in tipping them, even though they're capable of causing an upset. I'm going to trust the Los Angeles Rams do this one, 1-13. The next game is a rivalry game, the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Los Angeles Chargers. This will be the 127th battle between the two clubs, and it's Kansas City who lead the overall head-to-head at 67-58, with 1 draw thrown in there as well. The Chargers have lost 3 in a row to the Kansas City Chiefs since the year 2021, and the Chiefs, they have won 6 of the past 8 encounters since the year 2019. The Chargers putting in a really gallant effort against the Dallas Cowboys on Monday Night Football, but they went down by 3 points. Were they the better side? Probably not in the end, but they definitely had a good account of themselves. Meanwhile, the Kansas City Chiefs, man, what was it? It was 19-6 or 8 against the Denver Broncos. I know it's a rivalry game as well between Denver and Kansas City, but there is something not clicking with Kansas City, bro. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's offense or defense, but there's something not clicking with Kansas City, but they still got the referee in their pocket, don't they? Of course, I'm going to tip Kansas City, but I think if the Chargers can find their highest level of offense, if they can find their groove offensively, they are going to trouble this Kansas City Chiefs outfit, man. So I'm going to tip Kansas City, but it's going to be a close one, 1-13. Speaking of divisional rivalry games, the Seattle Seahawks host the Arizona Cardinals from Lumen Field. The Seahawks are $1.23. The Cardinals are $4.20. This will be the 49th match between the two franchises, and Seattle have got a 25-22 and one draw overall head-to-head record. While the Seahawks have won 3 in a row against the Arizona Cardinals, the matches played at Lumen Field is in the favor of the Arizona Cardinals. A little bit anyway. So it's gone win-loss, win-loss, win-loss for maybe 6 or so games, or for 4 years now, between the Seahawks and Cardinals at Lumen Field. So the Cardinals, they have proven to be a real prick over the years when we've taken them on, and especially when they've come into Lumen Field, man, they sort of gain a little bit of another leg when they travel to take on Seattle in Seattle. The Seahawks, I said a couple of weeks ago that I really want to see. Maybe it was even last week. The Seahawks, I feel like they've got their defense. They need to focus on offense, because even though they won 24-3 against the Giants the week before, they needed to improve their offense. And against Cincinnati, while they scored in their first drive, their attack was not good enough. It really wasn't good enough, especially inside the red zone. Seattle need to have their attack clicking, and I'm not sure it's going to come against this Arizona Cardinals defense, or just this Arizona Cardinals team, who, they're putting a lot of pride in the jersey, but I just feel like that tank is starting to run on empty just quietly. I feel like that they're starting to lose a little bit of their early start to the season form, unfortunately, the Arizona Cardinals. So Seahawks, it's not a gimme, and it shouldn't be classified as a get-right game, but they really need to do something in attack. They really need to score at least 20 points if they're going to be fair dinkum in 2023, 2024. So Seattle Seahawks 13+. And if you know, you know. What awaits us next is the Grossi Perna Cup, the Denver Broncos versus the Green Bay Packers from Mile High Stadium. The Denver Broncos are $1.98 outsiders. The Packers are $1.83 favorites for this game. This will be just the 16th match between the Broncos and the Packers, and it is even. It is 7 wins apiece with 1 draw thrown in there as well. This is the first match between the two franchises since 2019. Green Bay won on that occasion. It was in Green Bay. Denver last defeated the Packers in 2015, and that was in Denver. So when was the last time the Packers won in Denver? It was in 1990. So the Packers have got a bit of history to overcome, and this, with a little bit of credit to Denver, this is a flip of the coin game, man. It's just that game Denver get, and it's just that game where I don't tip the Packers. I got no idea. This is a really tough game to pick. I feel like Denver, I know that it wasn't a pretty game, but they did well to hold Kansas City Chiefs at bay, to be honest with you. And the Packers, they're coming off the bye. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm gonna go for a little bit of glory. I don't know why. I just got this feeling Denver are gonna do it. But I know Green Bay, they're the team to really give me the fuck you on any occasion I tip against them, really. So I'm gonna say the Denver Broncos win. I'm not at all confident. I mean, who the hell's confident in tipping a winner in this game? All right, now we are talking main event games, bro. We got Philadelphia Eagles hosting the Miami Dolphins from Lincoln Financial Field. This will be just the 16th meeting between the two, and it's the Dolphins who have the overall head-to-head record at 9 wins and 6 losses. On Sportsbet, the Eagles are $1.74 favorites. The Dolphins are $2.10. They last met in 2019. It was in Miami, and Miami won. This is the first trip to Philadelphia since 2015. Philadelphia, they last defeated Miami in 2011. So the Dolphins have been on a 2-game, 3-game win streak against the Philadelphia Eagles. But get this, the Philadelphia Eagles, they have not defended their home territory since the year 2007 against the Miami Dolphins. So the Dolphins, they are a real thorn in the side of the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, if the Miami offense fires, they're going to be really hard to stop the Philadelphia Eagles. And by the way, Eagles copped their first loss of the year last weekend against the New York Jets of all sides. So it was the defense of the Jets that really allowed them to get the dub in that game. Jalen Hurts also throwing for 3 or 4 interceptions in that game. So Hurts was off, and it was the supreme defense that held the Philadelphia Eagles to their first loss last weekend. Can the Miami Dolphins match the Eagles defensively, or match the Jets defensively when they come up against the Philadelphia Eagles? It's a massive task. I don't think they do. I think Philadelphia, I think that might be the catalyst to really put their season into a higher gear and for them to go on a bit of a winning streak, actually. I got Philadelphia winning this 1-13. I just don't think the Dolphins will have the defense, but the offense can be there. It could be there. And if the Dolphins, they're not a bad defense, but if they can get under the skin of Hurts, we've seen that this offense from Philadelphia can crack. So I'm going to tip Philadelphia, but this should be a cracker. And finally, on Monday Night Football or Tuesday Morning Football here in Australia, we got the Vikings versus the 49ers for the 50th time in history. And the Vikings have the overall head-to-head record at 25-23 with 1 draw as well. On Sportsbet, the Vikings are $3.47, the 49ers are $1.31. Vikings and 49ers last met in 2021, and San Francisco won on that occasion. This is the first trip to Minnesota for the 49ers since the year 2018. But San Francisco, they have not won in Minnesota since 1992, and they have had 6 attempts to try and get that dub against the Vikings in Minneapolis. They haven't been able to do it since 1992. So I said a similar stat about them going to Cleveland. They haven't won in Cleveland since 1984, and that record will stay for at least another season. They haven't won in Minneapolis since 1992, and I'm going to tip the 49ers. This is their second away game in a row as well, but they'll be stinging. And I don't think the Vikings are anywhere near defensively as good as the Cleveland Browns are last weekend. So I'm going to say the 49ers. Oh man, come on 49ers. Yo, thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care. Adios.